Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told, I had a voice to radio. So today, I am showing you a Zapdos promo. As I record the audio, it's 5 to 11 at night on a Friday, and I've actually got work on Saturday. I'm not going to be uploading this video till nearly midnight. But I'll tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, it's that gosh darned good, I am not waiting till tomorrow to bring you this card. And the weird thing is, I've only just finished telling you about the other Zapdos. The one that came out in Dark Orders, coming out in Tag Team over here, that does 80 damage for a single energy, as long as it became active this turn. And I was telling you how it's a really good attacker, because you've got cards like Electro Power and Thunder Mountain for lightning decks nowadays. That's not what this Zapdos does. Also, right, as a side note, I have told you that Zapdos is the best of the legendary birds. Somebody over in Japan agrees with me because they seem to be printing some nuts good Zapdos. So if we flick through the basics here extremely quickly, what we see is 120 HP, which is bad because you're in Zoroark range, but a resistance to fighting, which is kind of good. On the one hand, it does mean that you'll survive a hit from Buzzwole. On the other hand, they're going to be playing Diancie Prism Star. So 120 is good, but you are being hit by some key numbers here, which kind of sucks. And the weakness to Lightning is bad because, as we've just said, Lightning is a good type right now. And the retreat cost of 2 is actually irrelevant, as we're going to see in a moment. But the thing that's great about this Zapdos is the first attack, which is over the top good. Shout out to Joe from Serebii and PrimalLugai, who did actually put the translation together themselves, but obviously I checked with David Hochmann because, well, I always check with David if I'm not sure, because David's awesome. What it does for a double colourless energy, you flip 4 coins. And for each heads, you search your deck for a lightning energy and attach it to one of your EX or GX Pokemon. Now, if you look carefully at the picture, you can see that there's a lightning symbol, so it's got to be lightning energy. You can see that there's a 4, so it's flip 4 coins. You can see EX and GX, so that you know it's EX or GX only. But there's no second lightning symbol here, which means you can attach it to any EX or GX, not just a lightning EX or GX. Honestly, most of the time it's not going to make a huge difference, but look, if you really want to use something like Lugia GX, for instance, or maybe you're partial to Drampa GX, you can use it here quite nicely. Or, you know, just as a side note, Eevee and Snorlax Tag Team GX. Oh, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. That one is totally in play here. This is a phenomenal attack. If this wasn't on a basic, it wouldn't be as good, but it is. If this wasn't for a single energy attachment, this wouldn't be as good. But it is. And yes, I know it's a double colourless energy, but look, it's double colourless, we're playing in a million different decks anyway. You can search it out with something like Energy Lotto, and I know that's not 100% reliable, but it's still kind of good. We've got Makago nowadays, although admittedly that is a stage 1, so it does slow you down for a turn. And it's such a good attack that I'm not so worried about the double colourless energy. And it's not like you have to worry too much about playing too many lightning energy, because you're attaching them from your deck. And attaching from your deck has always been the most powerful way to accelerate energy. We see lots of Naganadel and Malamar decks around at the moment, and they're good decks, but they have to play around with stuff like Sightseer in order to get the energy in the discard before they can accelerate it. Whereas something like Xerneas had no real business being that good. But because Xerneas attached energy from the deck, it was instantly a lot better. Colress Machine was really popular back in the day. And okay, there were some Pokemon like Lugia, interestingly enough, that really loved it. It was generally just good because it was deck-based acceleration, although the fact that it was an item card really did help as well. And what we see here is just phenomenal energy acceleration. This is pretty much better than almost any other energy acceleration we have at the moment. Now look, there are downsides to this. It's got to be in the active, it is your attack, so whereas something like Malamar or Naganadel can just sit on the bench accelerating, this can't, it's got to be in the active, so it is early game only. Having said that, Kiawe ends your turn, and no one really minds about Kiawe, so you know, that's not too bad. And it is a little bit flippy, although at this stage I should mention Victini, which does allow you to reflip. But the thing is, what we're doing here is accelerating lightning energy. Now, for fire Pokemon, they've got Kiawe, and we've seen what Kiawe has done to a Pokemon like Ho-Oh in terms of making it relevant when it would otherwise be too expensive. It's really quite nice. Now, the other thing I do need to mention here is that you're accelerating energy at the end of your turn, which gives your opponent essentially a free hit on whatever you accelerated the energy onto. So if you accelerate the energy onto an Eevee and Snorlax, your opponent can Guzma it up and have a hit. And if they're playing something like Gardevoir, which does more damage based on how much energy is attached to the Pokemon, then you're actually helping your opponent here. This isn't perfect. It's definitely not perfect. But it's so powerful. I mean, one of the obvious applications for this is Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GX. Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GX is frankly phenomenal. It is a great card, which is just insanely expensive to get going. Free energy 150, and then you search for free energy and attach them. Free energy 200 if you've got an extra free 170 to the bench. Well, getting those free energy on early game can be a real pain in the neck. And sure, you can use something like Magnezone, but let's be completely honest here, Magnezone's a stage 2. Which means you've got to play all the rare candy, and it's not just that you've got to wait a turn to get Magnezone out and hope you hit the rare candy, it's that you're using the space in your deck to facilitate having it in the first place. So Magnezone may well end up being too slow for Pikachu and Zekrom, but if you can get lots of energy out Pikachu and Zekrom is phenomenal. Oh, wait a second. This sounds like a job for Zapdos. And if you can play decks that want double colorless energy, this just becomes better. And that's where Eevee and Snorlax Tag Team GX comes in. 4 energy, 120 damage, 240 if it is an evolution Pokemon. Gee whiz. Now you want double colorless energy because, you know, you can use it to pay Snorlax's attack. I know it's Eevee and Snorlax, but Snorlax is my boy. But by the same token here, you can use Zapdos and then this. Or 5 energy, 210 damage, and draw 2, you got 10 cards in hand. I mean, you only need 4 energy to do the 210, but you add a 5th energy on, and then you get the up to 10 cards in hand. Why would you not want to do that? So if you can actually find a deck that plays double colorless energy and wants energy acceleration and isn't fussy about what energy they use, this just becomes kind of next level phenomenal. And there's so many lightning Pokemon that can do really well with this. We've got Tapu Koko GX that will actually just take the energy from wherever it is and move it and off you go. You've got Raichu GX that does more damage depending on how much energy is on the field, although to be fair, Pachirisu and Snuggly Generator could potentially be a better way of getting that out. And one of the ones I really like here is Xurkitree GX. Xurkitree GX is basically a wall Pokemon because it's got immunity from Pokemon with special energy attached. The thing is, it can be a bit of a pain getting multiple Xurkitree set up, so you can actually attack while walling, and this could help here. And it's not just for these Pokemon, it's any Pokemon released in the future, and it's not lightning Pokemon. It's GXs that can use lightning energy, whether lightning, colorless, or otherwise. And that's what's so good about this. Yes, it's your attack for the turn, and yes, it's flippy, but we could have said that about Xerneas, and Xerneas proved to be great. One of the awkward things about using Kiawe has always been, what do I leave in the active while I use Kiawe? What do I leave in the active to take a hit? Here, what do you leave in the active? Zapdos. Okay, 120 HP isn't phenomenal, but it's all right. It's not terrible. It's not appalling. It's not embarrassing. It's just not quite as high as we might like. And if you can get 2 or 3 turns of this off, you are setting yourself up for the game. And the fact that 2 of the 3 currently revealed Tag Team GXs can make great use of this, that really makes me a little bit excited. Which is kind of annoying because I love Wailord and Magikarp. Given that they really rely on water energy, yeah, they ain't going to be using this, ladies and gentlemen. I love this Zapdos. Oh yeah, it's also got an attack, lightning, colorless, 100 damage. It's fine. It's alright. It's not particularly good. It's not particularly bad. It's fine. It's alright. It does enough. You're getting a one-hit KO on Ho-Oh. And bearing in mind, with stuff like Electro Power, you're totally off the hook here. I'm not saying it's some kind of phenomenal attack, but it's not the reason you play Zapdos. As a side note here, the retreat cost of 2 and the fact that the attack is for a double colorless energy fits together beautifully here. And somebody somewhere loves lightning Pokemon, because remember Tapu Koko Prism Star, which when it's on the bench you can put it in the Lost Zone, and then you get to attach 2 basic lightning, 1 to each of 2 bench Pokemon. And then you got Electro Power and Thunder Mountain, and now this. Somebody wants lightning Pokemon to be good, and I think they're going to get their wish. I'm giving this between 4 and 5 Wassies. It's got to be active, and it's your attack for the turn. That's about the only downside here. On average, you should be accelerating 2 energy from the deck while having a decently bulky Pokemon in the active. That sounds good, ladies and gentlemen. That sounds good. But maybe it doesn't sound good, in which case, comment section, go nuts, be nice. You know the deal by now. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And do make sure you're checking out my other channel, Wassy Plays, for some more Wassy action. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.